comes, here he comes. There's the trumpets, there's the drums, here he comes. Hopalong Cassidy, here he
For years, Twin Rivers was a quiet cattle town. Then suddenly, the peaceful existence changed with the discovery of gold near our community. The prospects of easy, sudden wealth attracted an influx of new citizens. Unfortunately, we had to welcome the bad along with the good. My job as sheriff became more difficult and hazardous. Most of the disturbances were caused by Buck Fain's gambling table. I could never prove Fain's games were crooked, but fights were inevitable and frequent.
Break it up! What's the matter with you?
All right, what is it this time, Fain?
The usual thing. His luck ran out, and he accused me of running a crooked game.
Why, I said that was enough.
He caused considerable damage. Lock him up. I'll prefer charges.
All right, come on. I was reluctant to lock up this fellow, but according to the law, I couldn't do anything else.
Be more careful in the future. All these miners aren't stupid. Get back to your table. Looks like Bummer's lost another partner.
King, what happened?
I don't know. Somebody shot him in the back when we was working the claim. Where's Hoppy?
Seems to me the sheriff would be the last person you'd want to talk to. This is the second one of your partners who's been mysteriously ambushed. 2 weeks ago, it was Jack Smith.
Are you trying to say I done it?
Well, the more of them you kill off, the larger your share.
Why, you lying varmint? Oh!
None of that, you.
Protecting the old fool, huh? Of course you would. You're one of his partners in that gold strike. Maybe you're helping him get rid of the others.
Yeah, I'll make you eat them.
No. Something ought to be done about you two, and I got a good mind to start it.
You'd better be sure you can finish it.
You're nothing but a dirty crook. You're sore because you haven't got a part of my mind.
Shut up, you old fool. Well, how about this, folks? Shall I do something about it?
Yeah.
What have you got in mind, Fain? Put up your gun. I said put up your gun.
I'm sure glad to see you, Hoppy. Buck Fain here is trying to say that Red and I killed off our partners. We had no idea who killed Frank King and Jack Smith. We were out digging the claim
All right, Bummer, I know. All right, come on, all of you. Back to your business now. You too, Fain. Red, you better take care of him. I knew Fain was a troublemaker, but I couldn't figure his motive in trying to make people believe this old codger was a murderer. Come on, Bummer. Bummer had drifted into Twin Rivers 6 or 8 years before and had never been known to do a day's work. Finally, the people around town got tired of Bummer bumming his foods, drinks, and even his clothing. 5 of the boys got together and decided to grub-stake the old man if he'd work a gold claim. They were Dan Warner, the blacksmith, Red, and 3 miners, Jack Smith, Frank King, and Trem Hardy. Dan said he didn't have any idea what was going on. When I told him his life might be in danger, he laughed off my fears. I told the blacksmith when he saw Trem Hardy to tell him to drop into my office.
Look, Hoppy, he's here. Sheldon, boy, am I glad to see you.
Oh, my Uncle Sheldon, how are you?
Oh, how are you? This is my brother's boy, and my namesake, Dr. Sheldon Lowe. Shake hands with Hopalong Cassidy.
How are you, Doctor?
Glad to know you, Mr. Cassidy.
I wrote him to come over as soon as I struck gold on my claim.
That was very nice of you, Bummer.
Bummer. That is what you call him, isn't it?
Oh, that's just a term of affection.
Oh.
Well, I've had a little trouble since I wrote you, boy.
Now, you better come over to my office, Doctor.
It's nothing to worry about. A couple of my partners got shot in the back.
The doctor hadn't seen Bummer for over 15 years. I gathered from their conversation that because this boy was his namesake and his father was dead, Bummer had decided to set his nephew up in business and open an office for him. I didn't like to disillusion Dr. Lowe about his uncle, but I had to explain what had started out to be a prank with the boys around town making Bummer go to work had turned into a serious matter. I'd drawn up a partnership agreement which all of them signed. They were to share equally 6 ways. Naturally, with the elimination of 2 men, those left would get a bigger share.
Mr. Cassidy, Uncle Sheldon wouldn't kill anybody?
I'm sure of that.
I passed by the claim on my way into town. I don't know much about mining, but it didn't look very prosperous to me.
Have you ever been in this part of the country before?
No.
Of course not. He only got out of that doctor's school a couple of months ago.
Well, for a stranger, you didn't seem to have much trouble finding that claim.
Uncle Sheldon described it so well in his letter, I just went right to it.
Could I see that letter?
I lost it.
What are you driving at, Hoppy?
Slug from a 30-30 Winchester killed Frank King. Hi, Bummer.
Hi.
If I'm not mistaken, that was a 30-30 Winchester you had on your saddle, wasn't it?
That's right. See here, Mr. Cassidy, if you think because I went by my uncle's mine I killed one of his partners, you're badly mistaken.
Now, just a minute, Doctor. Nobody's accusing you of anything.
Your insinuations are plain enough.
It was only natural for him to go to the mine. He thought he'd find me there.
Mr. Cassidy,
Hi, Trim.
what's this I hear about Frank King?
That's right.
Trim, I want to tell you
Just a
something.
minute.
Now.
Trim Hardy, this is Dr. Sheldon Lowe, Bummer's nephew.
Glad to know you, Mr. Hardy.
So, you're the young man Bummer's going to will all his money to.
Yes, that's right. What about it?
What do you mean?
Bummer told me the other day he was going to leave everything to his nephew. Judging from the way things are happening around here, it's going to be quite a bit. But hear this, you old scalawag. I'll get my share, and it won't be in my grave either.
Who you calling an old scalawag, you big coyote?
Just a minute. I'll see you later, Hardy. Why don't you pick on somebody your own size? Doc, you didn't waste any time getting your shingle up.
Well, good morning, Sheriff.
Morning. You know, you should do pretty well here in Twin Rivers. Doc Kramer's getting old and tired and wants to quit anyhow.
Got my first patient last night, Uncle Sheldon.
Oh? What happened to him?
Pains in his stomach. He's been overeating.
Now that he's a rich man, he'll probably try to outdo Diamond Jim Brady. Is he in bed?
Yes, he is.
I'll go over and see him.
Mr. Cassidy, if you want to question me any further, I took a room in Mrs. Turner's boarding house.
Yeah, I know. Mrs. Turner? Hi.
Oh, Mr. Cassidy, come in. Oh, you are in, aren't you?
Yes.
Land's sakes, I haven't laid eyes on you in days. How are you? Well, I hope. Let me see now. To be exact, I haven't seen you or laid eyes on you in 5 days. Yes, I know it was 5 days ago because...
Mrs. Turner, I came in to see Bummer.
Oh, yes, of course. Sheldon will be so glad to see you. He's in his room, you know, confined to his bed, poor thing. I was just bringing him some soup and warm milk. I always say that,
Yes, I know. Which one is Bummer's room?
This way. He has the same room he had before. Best bed in the house, too. I always say that people don't pay enough attention to what kind of bed they sleep in. You know, did you ever stop to realize, Mr. Cassidy, you spend half of your life in bed? My sister Emma always said...
Mrs. Turner, you seem to have taken quite an interest in Sheldon's comforts all of a sudden. I remember the time you put him out because he couldn't pay his bill.
I only did it for his own good. Here's his room. 2 of his partners are with him. Thank you.
Listen, Tram, if you and Dan will do what I tell you, we'll have a mine that'll pay off. I ain't gonna have no more soup nor no more milk.
Nonsense. It's good for you, Sheldon, and you'll drink every drop of it.
Oh, a man ought to have something in his stomach that'll stick to his ribs. Howdy, Hoppy.
Hi, Bummer. What's ailing you?
Well, I must have ate something that didn't like me. And that nephew of mine sent me some medicine. It's the worst tasting stuff I ever had in this world.
Well, they say the worse the taste, the quicker the cure.
Yeah, less than it kills you. Want some soup?
No, I don't want any soup. But I do want you to stay away from the mine.
That's what we were talking about, Happy.
Yeah, me and Warner's going out to work the claim while Bummer's laid up. But we're taking Red along with us to keep a lookout for ambushes.
That's a good idea. I was going to suggest that.
I ain't gonna stay in this bed.
Oh, yes, you are, Sheldon.
I think you'd better, Bummer.
Well, all right, Hoppy, if you say so.
Is this the medicine your nephew prescribed?
Yes, and I wish he had to take it himself.
Oh, for goodness sake, it's time for his next dose.
Oh, no. I ain't gonna take it.
Oh, yes, you are, Sheldon. Now, open up.
Being sick and having Mrs. Turner's loving care forced upon him at least did one thing. It made Bummer anxious to get back to work. I left to give Red some instructions about protecting himself and the other partners.
Mrs. Turner. Mrs. Turner?
Jane, what are you doing here?
Dr. Lowe tells me that you have a vacant room, and you serve the best food in town.
You want to rent from me?
Yes. Anything wrong with that?
I've never rented to anyone connected with your place.
Well, there's always a first time for everything. How much?
I haven't said I'd let you have the room.
This ought to take care of it.
Well, if you insist. Now, Mr. Payne, please don't make me sorry I took you in. I always say...
I know. You have nothing to worry about.
I was just as amazed as Mrs. Turner to see Fane moving into her place. Red took the first turn at guard duty while Hardy and Warner worked the claim. Quite naturally, they wanted to stay alive to enjoy their newfound prosperity.
Came from over there. You better get out of here.
They had searched around the claim for signs of the ambusher, but had found nothing. They promised me to stop all work on the diggings for a while. I'd received word Bummer was worse and wanted to talk to me.
I think the cup of hot tea you suggested will help. Be sure he takes the medicine.
I'll attend to it.
How's Bummer?
His condition is serious, but not dangerous.
Did you get to talk to him?
I couldn't, not in his present condition.
I told you I'd make it worth your while. Besides, if you wait, it'll be too late.
Hi, Bummer.
Hiya, Hoppy.
How you feel?
Terrible. Dizzy, and I got pains in my stomach. And...
Well, what does Sheldon say about it?
Oh, well, he sent me over some new medicine over there. But that's not what I want to talk to you about, Hoppy. Hoppy, I got a confession to make to you. I've been in love with Mrs. Turner for a long time. But I never had nerve enough to speak to her about it until now. Well, you know, now that I got a little money, why, I guess I'd just pop the question.
And she said yes.
Yeah, and she sure made me happy, too. Holly, I want you to read this. It's my will. I wish you'd fix it up sort of legal-like, so that if anything happens to me before we're married, Mrs. Turner and Sheldon will split what I leave.
Nothing's going to happen to you. You'll be up and around in no time. But I do think, for your own protection, that maybe you should give me power of attorney.
What's that?
Well, that's a legal form of letter that means that you can't sell or transfer or even give away your gold without my consent.
Oh, I see. Sure, Hoppy, you go ahead and fix it up.
That's fine. This is the new medicine, huh?
Isn't that awful smelling stuff?
It certainly is.
Yeah, and after I take that vile tasting stuff, I feel worse than I did before.
Well, then there's no reason for taking it. I'll get you some stuff that doesn't taste quite so bad.
Oh, thanks, Hoppy. You're a real friend.
I'll be back in a little while with some new medicine. You take it easy.
Hoppy, don't hurry.
Why, Mr. Cassidy, I didn't know you were here.
I was in visiting with Bummer. Is the doctor in?
Well, he was a few minutes ago. I'll see. Land sakes, I never had so much to do. Since poor Sheldon got sick, it's just been one thing after the other.
Did you want to see me, Mr. Cassidy?
Yes. I'm taking Bummer's medicine away from him.
For goodness sake, why?
You have no right to do that.
I have every right. And as sheriff, I'm ordering you not to prescribe to your uncle. I'm having Dr. Kramer come in and take a look at him.
That's a direct insult. I'm a doctor, Mr. Cassidy, and what you're doing is contrary to professional ethics.
Well, I'm not a doctor, so I don't have to be concerned with professional ethics.
All right. You are the law in Twin Rivers, and I'll have to abide by what you say. But I won't be responsible for the results.
Let me worry about that, will you?
Land sakes, I never saw such goings-on. You don't think there's anything really wrong with that medicine, do you, Mr. Cassidy?
Well, I don't know, but there's no sense taking any chances.
Well, I'll get rid of it for you.
I'll see you later, Miss Turner.
Well, I always say the law is the law.
I know about you having the power of attorney, Cassidy, and I'm willing to pay a good price to buy into Bummer's claim.
Aren't you satisfied with your own business?
Yes, but I'd like to get in on a good thing.
I'm sure you would. But I think for the time being, we'll let things stand just as they are. Here's something else you might give some thought to. You go in with Bummer, your life might be in danger.
I'm willing to take my chances on that score.
Change your tune, eh, Fane?
I'm making a legitimate offer.
I'm sure you are.
I even asked the doctor to speak to the old man about it. You can ask him.
I will. Now, if you'll excuse us, we have some work to do.
Did you see him looking at that medicine bottle?
Yeah.
I'll bet there's poison in there, and he's in cahoots with the doctor.
Well, I'm glad you got it figured out, because I haven't.
Where you going?
I want to get something to eat. I missed my supper with all this paperwork.
Say, I haven't had anything to eat either.
You mean in the last 30 minutes? I want you to stay here and watch the office. I'm expecting callers.
Well, say, I just thought of something. Isn't it dangerous to leave old Bummer unprotected if somebody's trying to kill him?
Bummer is perfectly all right so long as that power of attorney paper's locked up.
That brings up another thought. They might try to get you.
I hope they let me get my supper first. I'll bring you back a sandwich.
You better make it 2, maybe 3. What's the matter? You so poor you can't buy your own medicine? Give me that bottle. I'm going to lock you up. Get in there.
Hold it, Red. Drop your gun on the floor. Give me that bottle. Now open that safe. I want that power of attorney paper.
I can't. I don't know the combination.
You're lying. Open the safe.
I said I can't. You better give me that gun.
1.
Wait just a minute, Mrs. Turner. I only agreed to steal that bottle of medicine for you. I don't want any part of a murder.
2.
Mrs. Turner, I always say that one man's medicine is another man's poison. All right, Red, lock her up.
Right this way, ma'am.
Mrs. Turner confessed she'd killed Smith and King, had tried to kill Red at the diggings, and had slowly been poisoning Bummer. Guess she figured she'd rather inherit his share than marry him. The remaining partners decided to work the diggings with Bummer. The old fellow had more ambition and a willingness to work than any of them. Hi there, my little friends. If you were playing baseball and the baseball was knocked across a railroad track, I'm pretty sure when you got to that railroad track, you'd stop, look, and listen, wouldn't you? Now, please remember that any street in America is just as dangerous as that railroad. So when you get to the curbstone, stop, look, and listen. Will you do that for me? Now, so long until next week, And in the meantime, don't forget to go to Sunday school.
There he goes on his way down the moonlit trail to where cowboys race. Hop along, Cassidy. Hop along, Cassidy. He'll return soon again. There's no use to say goodbye until then. Hop along, Cassidy.